Well, it seems like Jussie Smollett was not the first to be let go on alternative disposing, or whatever they're calling it. This story from the Daily Wire, actually looking into an investigation from ABC7, but Daily Wire is probably more succinct in terms of framing, but let's read. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx let convicted killer off the hook. Oh, that's interesting. ABC7 Chicago has been investigating Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx ever since her office decided to drop the 16 felony charges against Jussie Smollett last month. And through the course of their investigation, the local news station found that Foxx let a convicted killer off the hook when she first took office. Wow. Can't say I'm surprised. You've got the mayor, the police, basically everyone saying that Jussie Smollett perpetrated a hoax, and she let him go. You've got the Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association saying she's lying to you. Excuse me. But let's see what's going on. 16-year-old Darian Albert was killed in a gang fight when he was walking home from school in 2009. Prosecutors charged 4 teens with Albert's death, 3 of whom were convicted of murder and 1 pled guilty, according to ABC7. But one teen, known then as DJ, was 14 at the time. Prosecutors say he punched Albert and knocked him down, saying that he signed his death certificate. Prosecutors decided to charge him as a juvenile in a special kind of case called an extended jurisdiction juvenile prosecution, or EJJ. That means although DJ was convicted as a juvenile, he was also sentenced to 30 years as an adult on the underlying offense of murder. However, that sentence would be stayed and not enforced unless he was convicted of a new felony after being released from juvenile custody. According to Albert's family, then Assistant State's Attorney Kim Foxx made the decision to go with the EJJ prosecution and encouraged them to accept the decision. Kim Foxx kept telling us that was the best way to go. That way we have some kind of safety net, Albert's mother, Anjanette, said. That way if he got in trouble, he goes back. That's what it is. 6 years later, and out of juvenile prison, DJ, now 20-year-old Deontay Johnson, was arrested and charged with an aggravated felony. ABC7 Chicago reports that prosecutors sought to revoke stay of his adult sentence, meaning that Johnson would face the 30 years in prison from the EJJ prosecution in his previous case if convicted. So I think I know where this is going. Because of this case, I'm willing to bet, before we read on, that she doesn't go after him on this felony charge to keep him out of prison. Johnson was convicted of the felony on November 8th, 2016, so I guess I was wrong. Election day, ABC7 Chicago added, the same day that Foxx, who supervised the Albert case convictions, won the state's attorney's race. Soon after, the Albert family says they were called to a meeting at the juvenile court building. The family was told that Foxx made the decision to not pursue the 30-year prison sentence from the EJJ that Foxx was responsible for pursuing in the first place. Kim Foxx decided not to go any further with this to just, it's over, Anjanette said. She's going to drop it, and he's going to get out, and there was nothing that we could do. There's a reason why we have such harsh sentences for murder. Now, I, for one, think we absolutely and desperately need some kind of criminal justice reform in this country. I am no fan of private prisons. I've heard the arguments, but I do not like the idea of a system that seeks to profit off of how many people you can keep behind bars. We send people to prison. They're not being reformed or rehabilitated. They're being hardened. Like, look, this person was a kid and they committed a serious crime. They then went on to commit an aggravated felony, right? Aggravated, at least in the state of Illinois. It's my understanding that it involves a deadly weapon or some kind of deadly force was available to this person. I could be wrong. But in this particular instance, it's not just about rehabilitating them. It's about keeping them off the streets. Unfortunately for this individual, not only did they kill someone when they were younger, they then went on later to commit an aggravated felony, putting someone's life potentially at risk. Yeah, at this point we say, okay, this person, we have to keep them off the streets. This is problematic. I fully recognize it may not be the best solution, seriously. Because you take someone who's already committing crimes, lock them with a bunch of people who have committed crimes, and that's the problem we're facing and why, in my opinion, I think we need criminal justice reform. But it may harden him. At this point, what do? He's already a murderer. He's already an aggravated felon. Maybe it doesn't matter if he's hardened because committing murder is possibly the worst thing you can commit. There's an argument about torture, but taking someone's life is one of the worst crimes you can commit, to quote the Guardians of the Galaxy. I forgot his name. John C. Reilly's character. So the family was told that they would not pursue it. Kim Foxx decided not to go any further. It's just over. She's going to drop it, and he's going to get out, and there was nothing that we could do. And to me, that seems absolutely insane. I will say, this does seem a bit more nuanced than just letting a convicted killer off the hook. I think that's a fair way to frame it. Absolutely, the title. But I also want to, consider, look, this is what she did here. This story so far sounds bad. Letting Jussie Smollett go was really, really, really bad, okay? I understand Jussie's not a murderer, but come on, man. At least we see some kind of justice in this story. It's not good enough, by no means. You can't let aggravated felons, convicted murderers run around, okay? There's a reason why we put people away, so they can't do it again to somebody else. But Jussie Smollett got like nothing. Anjanette said that she repeatedly reached out to Fox and that Fox never bothered to respond to her calls. I felt like she sat in our face, she cried with us, she hugged us, and then you turn around and let this murderer, I don't care how old he was convicted of first-degree murder. My son is not here anymore, and she gave us all this hope, and she promised us that this was going to be okay, and it didn't turn out like that. No, that's a knife in the back. First-degree murder, intent to kill, okay? Again, I'm from Chicago, so I have a little bit of a peripheral understanding of this, but I believe first-degree murder means he approached the situation with the intent to kill somebody. Whereas second degree is, I think second degree is like if I punch you in the face and you die, right? I intended to harm you, but first degree, it sounds like this dude wants to kill somebody and aggravated felony, and she's just let him off. I don't have anything to say to Kim Foxx, Anjanette continued. The person that I thought she was, her heart, her kindness, the way she was with us in court, I don't ever want to see her again, never. When Foxx ran for office, her campaign was bankrolled in large part by Illinois Safety and Justice, which was funded with $408,000 from Democratic megadonor George Soros, part of an effort in at least 20 jurisdictions to elect progressive and minority prosecutors following the 2014 Ferguson shooting, the Washington Times reported. Chicago's police union said in a March 8th Facebook post, Fox's election was part of a national campaign by the radical left to impose their people in key prosecutor spots, a move to fight the system from within. At the end of the last month, ABC7 Chicago reported that the FBI was reviewing the circumstances surrounding the dismissal of the charges against Smollett. There is a move from the far left to get their people in politics, people who are not popular. Look at the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. They do not represent America. They have fringe and followers who are few and far between, and they're using exploits to gain this power. It looks like from what we're seeing here now, well, I hate the George Soros stuff. I'm sorry. When people come out talking about George Soros and the Koch brothers, I'm like, dude, I get it. People have money, make donations. I'm not concerned with who's bankrolling it. I'm concerned with the people who are getting in. I understand you can whittle it down to whoever is actually supplying the money, but it's just silly because people try smearing everybody else as, based on whose money they get. So I get it. It's complicated, but I'm not going to play the Koch brothers game. I'm not going to play the George Soros game, but I will state it is absolutely true that there are groups funding people to get them in positions of power to make policy changes outside of the normal course of law, right? Put a prosecutor in, instead of changing the law, just don't prosecute people. Instead of actually running for office and winning, just primary people. Get 16,000 votes in a district of 750,000. Rob Elgis said, 2 law enforcement officials briefed on the matter. Oh, okay, so that's the FBI story. After the charges against Smollett were dropped, Democrat Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson slammed Smollett and Fox's office for the decision. I'm sure we all know what occurred this morning, Johnson said. My personal opinion is that you all know where I stand on this. Do I think justice was served? No. Well, Kim Foxx stuck out her neck to get Jussie Smollett off the hook when everyone believes he did it. When the police say they know he did it. I mean, they have video footage. Apparently, it is a fact that he did do it, according to even the prosecutors who say they believe he's guilty, and this was just alternative disposing. Well, Kim Foxx stuck her neck out, and now you've got local news digging into her history. And as it turns out, she's not particularly clean in terms of doing things by the book and having everything squared away properly. It appears she betrayed a family and let a convicted killer get away with the murder of their son by not prosecuting on what he was supposed to be prosecuted on, 30 years in prison. It's pretty. There's a bit more, but we'll end with this. The city saw its reputation dragged through the mud, Emanuel added. This is without a doubt a whitewash of justice and sends a clear message that if you're in a position of influence and power, you'll get treated one way and other people will be treated another way. It's not just that. I think that's actually wrong. What we're seeing here is that it sounds like she's generally just undermining the law. I don't think it's so much after this story that Jussie Smollett is famous, though he is, and it does play a role. It's that she's just not putting people in prison when they commit crimes, plain and simple. So, you know what? I don't want to rehash all the old stuff from the other story. We'll leave it where it is. Take it for what you think it to be. This is a local ABC7 story, right? This is not like, let's see. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx let Darian Albert killer off the hook. And this is a story from today. So, look, when she did this, when she let Jussie Smollett go, she opened the door to scrutiny. And this is what we're seeing now. They said, yeah, there it is. You know what? I'll leave it there. You decide, is it right for her to do this? Is it wrong? Like, obviously, I don't think it's right, whatever. I think we're all going to be in agreement that she's undermining the law, but, leave it there. I got some more videos coming up for you in a few minutes. I will see you then.